Today, we are going to create a recursive algorithm to find the sum of n elements in an array. Before going to the algorithm, first let us discuss what is recursion. Recursion is the method of solving a complex problem where the solutions depends on solutions to smaller instances of the same problem. Recursion solves such problems by using functions that calls themselves within their own call. Now, let's see the algorithm to finding the sum of n elements in an array. In the algorithm, the first step is to initialize an array called ARR and a variable called sum. We can use any name for the variable and array. In step 2, set the value of the sum is equal to 0. In step 3, start a for loop from index 0 to the length of the array minus 1. In step 4, we perform the operation sum is equal to sum plus each element in each index value. In step 5, print the value of the sum. These are the 5 steps in the algorithm to finding the sum of n elements in an array. Now let's see the Python implementation of finding sum of n elements in an array. In the beginning of the program, we created a function named sum with a parameter a. Inside the function, we created a variable called sum to store the sum of the elements in an array. After we create a sum variable, let us create a for loop for iterating each element in the array and finding and calculating the such that sum is equal to sum plus I, where I is the each element that is iterating. After iterating all the elements in an array, the value of the sum is returned. Um, the value of the sum is returned. Outside the function, we created an array and saved it to a variable called a. And then we are inserting some values to the array, that is 12, 3, 4 and 15. In the next step, we calculate the length of the array and store it to a variable called n. Then we created a variable called ans to storing the return value so that we can print it easily. When we call this function, all the iterations and calculations of the sum will happen here, and the final sum value is returned. And we created a print function so that we can display the sum of the elements in an array. Now let's run this program. Okay, here we can see that the sum of 4 elements that we have inserted here are 34. This is how we calculate the sum of n elements in an array. I hope all of you understand this well. So thank you.